Hello, on another episode of the Convo Guy. Today I have a guest, Brian. It's a pleasure having you on the platform.
Yes, sir, Steve. Appreciate you having me on here, man.
Thank you. What is one word that describes you?
Describes me? Shoot, that's a tough one. One word? That's all I get is one word?
Or like a phrase or like a motto you have that you just live by.
I mean, just I don't know. Down to get out. Right?
Okay.
Down to experience some stuff, some new stuff.
What are some things?
Nah, you good, man. I was just saying, life is too short. I feel like I've been needing to say yes to a lot of more things lately. Like, we probably gonna get to the movies already, but what's it called? There's this movie called Yes Man with Jim Carrey. I don't know if you've seen it, but that's a good movie. Yeah, he basically goes to like the seminar that his homie puts him on to. He says no to like everything. Like his homie's trying to invite him out everywhere. He be trying to do this and do that, and he's like, "Nah, I'm busy. I got something to do." But he's never doing anything. Like he's just chilling or like doing his own thing. But yeah, like he goes to the seminar, and then it's basically about saying yes to everything. And so he starts saying yes to a bunch of random stuff in his life, and he just changes his life. So
Okay.
yeah.
And by him saying yes to those things that he was feeling like he needed to say yes to, did that change his personality? Did it make him more outgoing?
Yeah, it definitely made him more outgoing. But he had to realize, like, at one point, he had to realize, okay, like, I can't just say yes to all this stuff without, like, putting intention behind it. You know? Like, if I'm going to say yes to this stuff, let me, like, participate in it and actually, like, be present in it. So, yeah, that's a sick movie. So, it's definitely inspiring for sure.
What are some things you feel like you cannot live without?
Can't live without water. Need water for sure. Gotta stay hydrated.
Do you drink a lot of water?
Yeah, I drink a lot of water. I try to drink a lot of water.
Like, and it doesn't even have to be like necessity, like oxygen.
Right.
It could just be like things that are meaningful to you that you feel like you cannot live without.
Yeah, shit. Well, skateboarding for sure. That's all I feel like that's all I've ever had. Like my board, that's been one thing that's been by me through everything. Like growing up, I was always moving to a bunch of different places because my parents, they're divorced. So I was always like switching friend groups, like having to go to this school, having to go to that school, move states or whatnot. But like regardless of it all, like I would always have my board. So no matter like what friends I was making, we would skate. Even if I didn't have any homies, I'd just go out there and I'd just skate and do my thing. So for sure, like skateboarding, need my manga. Been reading a lot more manga lately. What else? What else is a necessity in this life for me? Shit, I'm super simple, so I don't need too much. Like I really don't. Like materialistic things are like not really for me. Obviously, I want to get a lot of nice things, but I feel like I have everything that I need pretty much. I'm super simple. Like I wasn't even smoking weed for the longest. So like that was something that I felt like I always needed. I was smoking since I was like 16, but I had stopped for a year from like 27 to 28 just cause to like clear my mind and stuff. So the weed would have definitely been up there for like for necessities. But I mean, shit, I feel like even since I started back smoking again, like I told myself when I got back from vacation in February that I would like chill. But like ever since I've been back gassing again, like I missed it. But that's still a part of me that realized after taking that year off that it's like I have to watch how I am with it because I am like super susceptible to slipping back into my old ways with that. We gone off on tangents now. Necessities. I mean, like I said, I'm pretty simple. I don't need much. I just need the basics to survive. Accountability. Oh, like that's the biggest one. Like dealing with people as an adult versus like growing up and being a teenager and a kid, I guess. Like you feel like, I mean, it's easy to become a victim in this world, I think. So that's where a lot of it comes from. And I think a lot of people, like I say, growing up, being an adult and talking to more people around my age and even older, it's like everybody has some sort of trauma or something, I feel like from their younger years that they carry with them in their experiences through life as they get older. And even if it's on like a subconscious level, like I feel like it's still there, but a lot of it comes from that victim mentality, I think. And that's why I say like accountability isn't something you can teach, because you can tell somebody over and over again, like they're like, oh, like why is this happening to me? Like I don't know why I'm still in these same situations, blah blah. But it's like sometimes you gotta look in the mirror and be like, okay, am I the one who's like putting myself in these situations? There's something about me that I should take a little bit more of like a look inside myself to see things I could change. And it's not always you, but I think accountability is a big one. And that's speaking from personal revelations too, as well. That's been like a big thing for me in these past couple of years. Has been taking accountability.
What are some places that you go to that bring you peace?
There's this one spot, super low key. Like I'm not much of a gatekeeper, but I gatekeep this spot. I post it sometimes on Instagram. I'm not super active on social media like I was before, but everybody, like every time I post there, it's not too far from my crib. It's like 5 minutes away, but it's in the back of like an industrial park, but it's like a huge lake with a trail around it. And it's not on any maps or anything. And if you didn't work at that place, you wouldn't know it was even there. So it's like that place for sure holds a super, super special place in my heart. Like people I've taken there, like I don't take everybody there because it's like one of those places that mean a lot to me. So I'm going to take you there. You're special. If anybody is watching this and they know me and I've taken you to this spot, you know who you are.
So I'm in city, and you don't gotta tell me, but what makes this spot so sick?
I took my first, like, I would probably say like the first person I ever loved in a relationship there. And we kind of like made that spot. I mean, we only went a few times, but every time we went there, it was super sick. Like they have turtles floating around in the pond and like ducks and stuff. So we feed the turtles and we feed the ducks and we'd like chill out and have a picnic and everything. It was like a super sick spot. So from that point forward, it was like ingrained in my heart every time I go there.
The older we get, the wiser we become. What is a wave that you realize you should have been on when you were younger?
Dude, now I'm like wasting time chasing pointless things. Like now I just want to become that version of myself that I see when I close my eyes and like when I look in the mirror. And the only person that is like that's holding me back is me. So I feel like the wave of just like self-improvement and self-fulfillment and knowing that anything that you want eventually is going to come regardless if you just stay true to yourself and you're just ultimately fulfilling your purpose in life or what you feel is your purpose. As long as it's not like self-destructive or you're hurting anybody else. I think that that's just the path that you should stay on, the wave that I should have stayed on. Even though I'm 28, I always feel like I wasted so much time, but I know it's all relative. If I'm sure if you're 55, you're like, oh, you're young or whatever, you know. But when you're in it, you still feel like this is all you've known. Like 28 years, I should have been here, I should have been there. But that's where like the comparison and stuff comes into play and all that, which I try not to do.
So the next two questions I'm gonna ask sound very similar to each other, but they're different. Are there things you loved then that you like now? So things that you used to really be into, like when you were younger, that you just, that love kind of shifted to now you don't love it as much, but you still admire it or like
Yeah, I'll probably say music. Like when I was maybe first moved here, I came here from California in like 2012. So when I first moved over here, like I was super heavy into music. That's why when we were setting up and everything, you're like, oh, like you can just punch in or whatever. Like I was like, oh, it's like the stew, like because and that's what reminds me of all the equipment and everything. But yeah, probably music, and I think that's just from like a shift in priorities and mindset and what I actually want out of my life now, being older versus being younger back then and thinking like I would want my life to go a certain way. But yeah, I say music for me for sure. Like I still love it and I still think it's a great outlet. But for me personally, it just got to the point where it's like, not to sound cliche, but it's like, all right, I'm almost 30. That like my lyrical content is more catered towards like the younger side of me, and it's still things that I process and go and deal with, but I feel like I can do it in a way where I don't need to use that outlet anymore like that.
I like how you said that. So it's like I'm letting go of something that made who I am today to be someone greater.
Yeah.
So it's just like, that's something I struggle with because it's just like, man.
So was it like the music that you were listening to, you felt like it wasn't conducive to like the direction you were trying to go, or you felt like it wasn't like the influence that it had on you was in a negative way, like you didn't need to listen to that type of music anymore?
It wasn't even negative because, like me personally, like when I listen to music, it's more for like the tune, like just everything else. I pay attention to the lyrics last.
Yeah.
And, rock music, like people don't listen to it for lyrics, really. They just listen to everything else.
The instruments.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I got older and realized, like, man, I need to be great.
Yeah, and I mean, that was me too. Like, I used to listen to Slipknot all the time, Linkin Park, Bullet for My Valentine, My Chemical Romance. Like, I listened to all that growing up too. And it's like only to when I moved out here, that's when I feel like I really like started. Yeah, I mean that's the goats from back in the day.
About Deftones too?
Nah, because I never listened to too much like Tame Impala or any of those people like that. Deftones, I never listened to too much like that. I was listening to a lot of I don't know if Deftones is the same genre, but I was listening to a lot of like heavy metal. More, yeah, a little bit stuff more a little bit more heavier.
And it's funny because rock songs they tell a lot about like life.
They do like that's some of the best. That's some of the best music. And even then, if I went on my Apple Music, I don't even use Apple Music anymore. I use SoundCloud because I like a lot of underground stuff. But even in my Apple Music, like it's all the Marilyn Manson, like in Taking Back Sunday. Like it's just a bunch of music. But I'll still go back and listen to it every now and again because it was like a huge part of my life. You know, like them bus rides in the morning, bro, to school and just middle school, early high school, listening to rock and shit.
Are there things that you like now that you now love? So it's kind of vice versa.
Yeah.
Question, but I asked earlier.
I don't know. I feel like I'm trying to figure that out still. There's a lot of hobbies that I picked up on that I didn't think I would get into. Like I said, I was trying to read manga more. I used to watch a lot of anime, but I liked reading it more for some reason. And I did read a little bit growing up as far as manga was concerned, but I never like dove too deep into it. So I'd say that would be one thing. But it's a lot of stuff now. Like I'm trying to figure out what hobbies that I want to get into because I feel like I've been doing the same thing for a long time. So I'm trying to switch it up. But a part of that is like an internal struggle or like battle, I feel, because it's like, oh, like I should just be comfortable doing what I'm doing. But at the same time, I do want to like expand my horizons for me personally, like not for anybody else to see more like, oh, I'm this way or that way. Like I just want to find something else that makes me feel like I want to enjoy life. You know, like even though what I do is I feel like I have a good time. I enjoy my alone time. I enjoy time with friends and stuff. But it's some things that I feel like I'm like my soul is yearning to discover, but I don't know what it is. So that's like the conundrum in it all.
Brian, thank you for this wonderful introduction.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. You already know. Appreciate you. Part one.
Yes, sir. So now we're gonna talk about